Now, one last thing that I think is important in this discussion is another little piece of it that I hear people ask a lot about is there's that little cryptic part of the book of Revelation where they talk about taking on the mark of the beast. And again, each and every generation that I've watched go by has figured out, or they say have figured out what that is, and we're all in danger of taking it, and we've all got to be careful because here it comes. And I think several years back when, the internet started and cryptocurrency and things started in digital types of things, people say, well, they're going to put a microchip in us, or they're going to be some kind of digital signatures. Well, we're starting to hear that again. People are saying that's something to do with this virus and the vaccine, and they're going to put the mark of the beast on us. And so there's a lot of concern about that out there. So let's try and put a little bit of context and perspective on that. When John in Revelation talks about taking the mark of the beast, what was he talking about?
He's literally talking about giving allegiance to this one world government so you can buy and sell. And it was a technical thing that had to happen in Roman guilds and Roman society,
yes,
so that you could buy. And you had to declare that the emperor was God. And if you weren't willing to do that, you couldn't do it. And no one accidentally did it. And no one, if you take, meaning they either gave you the choice, you had total freedom. You could either take it or die, but nobody accidentally took it.
Yeah.
You had to make a choice. So all of the stuff in my lifetime where people have been saying, they're going to accidentally do it, and it's put in parts that they put in your body and microchips, so you're going to have to do this, and it's going to happen, and you're not going to know it. Then you've misunderstood the heart of our Father, who takes my choice. And if somebody did something to me that I did not choose to do, you then have to believe God gets locked into some kind of paradigm that God doesn't know I didn't choose it.
Yeah. Right.
So now I believe that this thing has fooled God into some way that he's going to take into account. I did something without my knowledge, without my consent, and now I'm really accusing God of something.
Yeah.
That he has a magic kind of formula or this kind of binary thing he gets into. That's not the way it works.
And like you were saying, it really was a situation in the first century where John is speaking, where there was a choice that was having to be made by these people under persecution. Do I vow allegiance to an emperor, to a Caesar who is over me, and literally call, and because the Caesars in that day called themselves sons of God.
Oh, yes.
And so who do I name as son of God? Is it Caesar or is it Jesus,
right,
my Lord? And you have to make a choice. And yes, sometimes, well, in those contexts, you were blocked from society, from the marketplace and things like that, and you had a choice to make. And again, back to the original point of Revelation, he's saying to these folks, you don't have to give in to this government because Jesus really is the king. He will take care of all this. And yeah, you may lose your life. And they were being thrown to lions. They were being burned alive. They were serious persecution, not what we call persecution, which we don't have in this country as Christians.
You mean when somebody doesn't like my comment on Facebook, I'm not being persecuted?
No. So they were really being persecuted, which I've lost my thought. But anyway,
I'm sorry.
So they were really being persecuted. But again, John is just saying to them, yeah, I get that, and you may lose your life, but is that the worst thing that can happen?
Right.
We have a resurrected king who will resurrect you, and so hold on. Don't give in to this. Don't live in fear. The kingdom of God is the safest place for you to be,
right,
even if you lose your physical life. And I think that was his main point of saying it's an allegiance thing.
It is an allegiance thing.
A little tease on that. That's what I'm talking about Sunday.
Wow.
There you go.
So just in a different kind of light, but that's in effect almost exactly what I'm going to talk to you about as we end up this new normal and the fear that's risen out of it, and how do I deal with my tension, my worry.
Cool.
Yeah.